This one sentence really says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the man we're talking about today. Love him or hate him, one thing was totally undeniable. Ajit Pawar was an absolute force of nature, a permanent center of gravity in one of India's most important states. And now, his sudden, tragic death has thrown everything up in the air.
So, today, we're going to try and unpack all of it: the life, the controversies, and the deeply suspicious death of Ajit Pawar, a political titan whose legacy is now a battleground of totally conflicting stories.
Okay, so it all started in the early hours of January 28th. Picture this: a chartered Learjet takes off on what should have been a routine flight, taking Pawar back to his home base, his stronghold of Banamati. Everything seemed totally normal, right up until the final approach. But then, eyewitnesses saw the plane suddenly just falter. Right before landing, it crashed just 100 feet short of the runway and exploded into a massive fireball. The outcome was brutal. Absolutely final. The jet fuel just ignited on impact, so any rescue attempt was impossible from the get-go. All 5 people on board, Pawar, his personal security officer, 2 pilots, and a cabin attendant, were killed instantly. There were simply no survivors. So, in the immediate aftermath, once the shock started to wear off, this one huge question began to take over the entire conversation. Was this just a tragic accident? A technical failure, maybe pilot error? Or was it something much, much darker? And look, these suspicions weren't just some fringe conspiracy theories from the internet. No way. They were coming from the very top. Major opposition leaders from all over the country immediately started raising doubts. Sanjay Raut from the Shiv Sena claimed Pawar was literally about to rejoin the opposition alliance. Mamata Banerjee called it an evil design and pointed to the timing. Even the Congress Party president called the whole thing unnatural, demanding a full investigation to rule out any foul play. And those suspicions found very fertile ground, because sadly, this kind of thing isn't an isolated incident in India. Pawar's death is actually part of a really unsettling pattern. When you look back over the years, a shocking number of high-profile leaders, from chief ministers all the way to the country's top general, have died in aviation incidents, often under some very mysterious circumstances. So, to really understand why his death triggered such an absolute firestorm, we need to get to know the man himself. Who was Ajit Pawar? What made him so powerful? And, well, who were his enemies? It really depends on who you ask. To his countless supporters, he was simply Dada, Big Brother, a man of action, a decisive leader who just got things done. But to his rivals? Well, that was a whole different story. They saw him as the ultimate power broker, an abrasive and, they would say, corrupt politician